Hello everybody, it is me once more, Erik with a K, and I'm excited to dive even deeper into the story Rosea's dreams. And today we are moving on to chapter 7. And if you are sitting there going, that is a big number and I have not even read chapters 1 to 6, then don't worry, I have already read them all for you. You can stop this right now, pause it, and ask your parents to go and look for part 1 to 6, which is all on our YouTube channel. But we are continuing the story for those who are up to date. And today's one is called Worlds Within Worlds. Rosea had listened to a story about a fairy godfather. The fairy godfather had taken over after his Aunt Sophie had died, and had become the first man who had ever become a fairy godfather. In the story, he had had problems at first with granting wishes. Father Jacob explains that a big part of magic is that people believe in it. So it was very hard for the fairy godfather to work the magic of the wishes when those who were wishing did not even believe that there could be anything like a fairy godfather. And the fairy godfather got very insecure and even had problems believing in his own magic. Only after the fairy godfather did learn to really believe in himself did his magic work again. After the story, Father Jacob told the children, "You must understand, just to believe in something good to happen is not enough to make it happen. You must also work towards it, together with the belief. On the other side, not to believe in something good to happen most certainly does not make it happen at all. And even if it happens despite your disbelief, you will not believe that it is real, and it will not be real to you." Sometimes Father Jacob told a story, and it was just a story and fun to listen to. Often he explained something about the story in the end that made you think about the story differently. These stories were amongst the best stories he told, but most children did not want another story right away after one of those. So after his words on the story of the fairy godfather, the other children left and got busy with the ball game. It was Sunday, so less children were around than the rest of the week. Many spent their Sundays with their parents, but Rosea's mother worked. With the ball game on, only Rosea was left. Rosea stayed. She had important things to talk about with Father Jacob. "Father Jacob, do you remember the boy Gideon, the one that I call Big Mouth?" Father Jacob smiled. "How could I forget? You talk about him and your adventures every time since I gave you the story about the pink place." Rosea did strike a pose which she believed would make her look taller and more important. She was sure that her next words deserved this important pose. "We have been wondering if we should go to other dreams. Oh, and of course, if we can enter other dreams at all." Father Jacob looked thoughtful. He took a moment before he replied, "Well, Rosea, child, it all depends on invitation. An invitation may come in many forms. You may know that I have a lot of books in my house. Some of them are about learning and understanding. Others tell the lives of people or the history of the world, but most of them are stories. Of course, in a way, they all help us to learn and understand, but especially the stories, the novels, do more than that. A writer is a storyteller who puts words on paper instead of in the ear. Stories create their own worlds. You may say that stories are dreams which are shared. To write a story down or to tell a story is an invitation to enter the storyteller's dream. Many of these stories create worlds which are bigger than the story itself, and you are invited to enter." Rosea asked, "So is it okay to go into someone else's dream?" "Only if you are invited. Your home has a door. It is a place which is yours and your mom's. If you open the door and let someone in, that person is a guest. If the person sneaks in without being invited, it is a burglar. Rosea did not want to be a dream burglar, so she asked, "How do we get invited?" Father Jacob answered this question with a question of his own. "Have people ever knocked at the door in your home?" That was an easy one, and Rosea explained that people have often knocked at the door. He asked, "And what happens then?" She explained, "My mom goes to the door to see who knocked." Father Jacob smiled, which he often did before he concluded an explanation. "And then your mom decides if she invites the person in or not." Clearly, Rosea and Big Mouth only had to knock to be invited. Rosea knew how to knock on a door or ring a bell, but she and her friend Gideon did not want to visit a home. They wanted to visit dreams. She had to ask, "How do you knock at a dream door? How do you even find it?" Father Jacob looked serious as he asked, "Do you believe in your dream?" Rosea used a word which might have done Big Mouth proud. "Absolutely." Father Jacob smiled again. "Well then, you only have to use that strong belief and go and look around in your Togetherland to find a dream door. I am sure that once you find it, you will also find out how to know to knock or ring the bell on it." Rosea considered that to be true. After all, the story of the fairy godfather had taught her that if you believe and do not give up and work hard, you can achieve a lot. It was strange how the story of the fairy godfather did fit her problem. It was Rosea's turn to make a serious face. She even tried for a stern face, but did not manage the right expression for stern. "Father Jacob, did you tell the story of the fairy godfather for me?" He did not present his usual dream talker smile. Father Jacob's face showed a wide grin. "Of course, the story of the fairy godfather was for you. Just the same as it was for all the children. Belief and disbelief govern the power of imagination, which is strong in children and all too often lost to adults. This is the power that creates new worlds here and in your dreams." Rosea was not sure if she understood all that, but what she clearly understood is that Father Jacob, the dream talker, had talked about something great that children were better at than most adults. That she liked very much. And that concludes Chapter 7, Worlds Within Worlds. I hope that you liked it. There's still so much more of this story that is coming. Dietlef Linde is writing such a beautiful story, so make sure you tune in next time that Erik, with a K, that's me, is telling a story, because I have to tell you some more. What is going to happen to Rosea? Are her and Gideon going to find a door in her kingdom? In Togetherland? Will they find somebody else's dream? There's only one way to find out. Keep tuning in to Character Stories with Children. And we have lots of other stories to share as well. See you soon.